Hello and welcome to today's press conference. I'm your host, Jim DeLorenzo, the principal of Jim DeLorenzo Public Relations. You can find me online at jimdelorenzo.com. One of the best kept business secrets is the power of public relations. I've been in the public relations business since I was a teenager, and I encourage you to reach out to me with any questions you might have about the mysterious art of public relations. Please feel free to email me at jim@jhdenterprises.com, call me at 215-266-5943, or find me on LinkedIn. You can also contact me through Twitter, where my handle is @JHD16. In my public relations career, I've had the good fortune to meet many interesting people: athletes, entrepreneurs, reporters, coaches, authors, executives, editors, entertainers, and innovators. Our guest today is Adam Nelson, the founder of Philly Esports. I met Adam for the first time several weeks ago, and I've learned a little bit about him in the last few weeks, and I'm fascinated to hear his story with you today. From 2007 to 2013, Adam served in the United States Army as a signal support systems specialist. He returned to his hometown of Philadelphia in 2011 and earned a BA in Information Science and Technology in 2018 from Penn State. In his career, Adam has helped veterans start and grow businesses, and through Philly Esports, he helps aspiring gamers pursue their dreams. I'm glad to have you on the show today, Adam.
Thanks, Jim. Really appreciate it.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but from our conversations in the past, did your military career grow out of your gaming, or did your gaming career grow out of your military career?
That's a very interesting question. I think it's both, honestly. Okay. I remember one of the very first video games I ever played as a kid was probably one of the first competitive video games that ever came out. It was called SOCOM 2. Okay. And it came out on the PlayStation 2. And it was about a team of US Navy SEALs that were deployed all over the world doing top secret missions and saving the world against terrorism. And that game, I remember, had an advertisement in the main menu for the Navy SEAL training.
Oh,
I remember
wow.
watching that video and just being awe-inspired by these men at the time that were in the video, who joined the military and wanted to become Navy SEALs, and I just imagined myself being a Navy SEAL. So that definitely started that thought process of maybe I wanted to be in the military one day. But obviously in the military, a lot of people in their downtime play video games because it's accessible and everybody has consoles and it's fun to do. And so I think there's a little bit of both in there for me.
Okay. Now, you were in the military for 6 years, I believe, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
In the United States Army. Mm-hmm. What led you to away from the Navy SEALs to the United States Army?
Sure. So at the time that I graduated high school, both of my older sisters were in college. So my parents were kind of struggling with money, and they said, Adam, you can go to college. We want you to go to college, but we don't really have much to send you to, a full year of college. So they said, well, maybe look at community college. And that didn't really sound right to me, at least at the time that I knew about college. Community colleges didn't seem like the right fit. So at that time, the U.S. Army and most of the military branches were offering, free tuition to college, and the GI Bill in the Army is what was specific. So when I finally decided to join the military, I knew that was my journey. I went and I talked to each branch, the Army, the Navy, and Marine Corps, and the Army just was the only one that really resonated with me.
Interesting.
And I knew the Navy. I didn't want to be on a ship in the middle of the ocean for months on end. And the Air Force, I felt like I wasn't smart enough because for some reason that was just the concept I had in my head. And then the Marine Corps just seemed too intense, and I just wasn't that intense about it. But the Army just seemed like a perfect middle ground of all those things, and that's why I enlisted in the Army.
Did you enjoy your experience in the military?
Absolutely. There's things that I don't miss. I'll tell you that right now. CQ duty for those out there who know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I miss the camaraderie. I was airborne, so I used to jump out of airplanes. Absolutely missed that. Like I can go skydiving today, but it's just different when you're all geared up and you're jumping out of a plane. It's really fun. So I miss elements like that. I miss the gung ho, get it done. We're a band of brothers type of attitude and mentality that we had. I miss those elements, but I'm glad to be out, and I'm glad to be moving on to the next journey in my life, for sure.
Now, in your career path, you've worked in IT and systems management for a number of organizations. Two that stand out in my mind were your stint with the Wharton Small Business Development Center, which you were there for a couple of years, as I recall. And then most recently, you've been with Bunker Labs. Tell us a little bit about what Bunker Labs did.
Yeah, sure.
Or what you've done with them.
Absolutely. So Bunker Labs is a national nonprofit that helps veterans and their spouses start and grow businesses. It was started in 2014 by Todd Connor, and it's the fastest growing veteran nonprofit in the whole country. And really what we do at Bunker Labs, just so that everyone knows, is we connect veterans to resources so they can pursue their dreams in starting their own business. And we do that with monthly meetups, with programs to accelerate their businesses, and just a vast network of mentors and other resources that we get these veterans and their and military spouses so that they can really pursue that. My role at Bunker Labs is the Northeast Regional Experience Director, and my primary duties is to manage our vast volunteer team that we have. This is everything from Maine down to Delaware, as well as make sure the experience of any guest that comes to an event is a good one, right? Make sure that they're getting connected, making sure that they know what we're all about, and that there's a smiling, happy face at the door waiting to greet them and tell them a little bit about what we do. So that was a lot of what I did, and there is a lot of technology behind that,
right.
Setting up the events and everything, but that's my primary role at Bunker Labs.
And you're about to transition to another veteran organized business.
Yes.
Zero Eyes?
Zero Eyes, that's correct.
And tell us a little bit about what you're going to be doing at Zero Eyes.
Absolutely. So right now I'm going to be the director of programs at Zero Eyes, and Zero Eyes is an absolutely phenomenal company, a mission that I'm excited to jump out of bed every day to work on. And what Zero Eyes is doing is that they're trying to help prevent school shootings by attaching artificial intelligence algorithms to already existing video cameras so that they can detect weapons that are exposed and alert officials and lock down schools instantly as soon as that weapon is shown on the camera.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds incredible, and that came through Bunker Labs.
Absolutely. So they actually came through one of the programs. It's called Veterans and Residence Programs. And so the Zero Eyes was one of the 10 companies we selected for that program. And they went through that incubator/accelerator course, and they've just been grinding at their business for over a year now. And they're at a point now where they're growing, and they came to me with an opportunity to work for them, and I couldn't say no. It was just an amazing organization.
And they're Philadelphia-based.
They're Philadelphia-based, that's correct.
Okay.
Yep.
So we'll probably be hearing a lot more about them in the very near future. Now, you talked about your IT background, you've talked about the gaming, and you talked about putting on events and being a friendly face to help people organize and do these things through the veterans groups, through Bunker Labs.
Right.
Take that to the next level. I kind of know a little bit about what you're doing, but tell us about how you started Philly Esports and what it's all about.
Sure. So Philly Esports, we started the company last year, and what we do is that we host monthly high-impact tournaments, pop-up style, so we do it all around the city, and we always have a cash prize, but our focus of the event is that we bring in professional photographers to take pictures of all the players and the spectators, and we do professional interviews for the players so that we post up online. And what these players can do is they can take this content and they can start building their own personal brand. And we really care and focus in on the story of the players because they are watching professional gamers at the highest level pursue their dreams and being pro gamers, and they want to do the same thing. So we want to give them an ability to build their own brand, build their own story, so if that's truly their dream to become a professional gamer or some other role within the esports industry, we can help them along that path.
And some of those other roles are like programmers, moderators, hosts, video, audio, all those things.
Yes.
Now, a common thread in both your description of what you've been doing at Bunker Labs, what you're going to be doing with Zero Eyes, and what you're doing with Philly Esports is helping people pursue their dream, which I think is fascinating. And there's a whole positive attitude of that. Sometimes when people of a certain age, perhaps my age and older, see esports, we have a negative connotation to it because we weren't really exposed to it in our youth, perhaps. Other people see it as, oh, this is a great opportunity for me. We just recently had a teenager from Pennsylvania, Harrisburg, I believe it was, who won $1 million prize in, was it Fortnite?
Fortnite, yeah, he won $3 million.
$3 million playing Fortnite. And to my way of thinking, esports is kind of on the cusp of becoming like this next professional sport opportunity. But what you're doing on the grassroots level is with high school and college age and younger and slightly older age group that are pursuing that dream. They want to become a professional gamer. They want to be involved with the gaming, the esports industry.
Correct.
And what are some of the opportunities that Philly Esports puts together for them?
Sure. So, we are an entirely volunteer-ran organization. Like, I make absolutely no money from the events. Any money we do make, whether it's from sponsors or from registration fees or maybe some of the waters we sell, that all goes right back into the company, whether it's buying new equipment or paying for a venue space. So this isn't about making money, and because we're an entire volunteer-ran company right now, the opportunities are everywhere. So not only can you come help organize the event, set up the event, learn how the technology is run, like technology is connected, but you can also be a shoutcaster. If you don't have any experience, you can come to our event and you can sit down and say, hey Adam, I want to be a shoutcaster. I want to practice. Can I come shoutcast your next,
And for a layman like me,
sorry,
a shoutcaster.
Shoutcaster is someone who's commentating on the event, just like football or baseball or hockey. It's the person in the booth commentating on the passes, the plays, the scores, telling about the player statistics. So in esports, it's the same exact thing. And it usually takes someone who knows a lot about the game to do it, because video games just have so many elements that are going on constantly. So someone who knows the video game is really passionate about it. Even if they have zero broadcast experience, they're a perfect fit to be a shoutcaster because they know the game and they can talk about what that player is doing in the game.
What's going on, why that player did that,
exactly.
or what that player might do next.
Exactly, yeah. Okay. And so those are the kind of opportunities we have, amongst many others. But but it's just an opportunity to really get involved in your passion. If gaming's your passion, Philly Esports is the place to come, whether to volunteer, to be a player, or even a spectator, because we really try to make our events as fun as possible for everybody that comes and attends.
And what kinds of people show up for this event?
So, I mean, it's what you'd expect. So you're a common gamer, mostly people that are serious about being a competitive gamer. So I'd say our age range, our youngest competitor was 9 years old, and our oldest competitor was 40 years old. So we've had people amongst the entire spectrum. We have about 80% male, 20% female, and we've had multiple members of the LGBTQ community come out and participate. So it's a very open and welcoming community.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people from all walks of life that come and play. And I think that's what I love most about it, is that video games is so accessible. There is no physical limitation. And even if people that have disabilities may not have the same dexterity as we do, or the hands, whatever, there's equipment out there that they can use to still play the same game. So it's just a wonderful place and a wonderful community, and it's just so accessible. It's just awesome. It gets me excited.
Yeah, I can see that. I love your passion and enthusiasm for it too. And I think what's neat about what you're doing with Philly Esports is that you're bringing people an opportunity to play at a competitive level, championship caliber level, if you will, but it's not like, in my mind, I compare it to what my friend Chris Branscombe in Eastern Pennsylvania Youth Soccer do, where it's an opportunity for players from like age 7 to play age 17 to play in tournaments and play in things, and they might not win the tournament, but they're participating against or competing against other people their same age. Yeah. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, I want to talk a little bit more with Adam about Philly Esports and what's on the horizon for them and what the future looks like for you.
Awesome.
Because esports, as many of you may not know, is one of the fastest growing participation sports in this country right now. So we'll be right back after these messages.
Viewers are tuning in to RVNTV shows monthly. We guarantee a great experience that you'll be sharing with everyone you know while increasing your personal and company's brand awareness. But what is your brand? According to Forbes, it's a combination of your logo, your product, your design and feel, and your personality. Did you know that aside from being a guest, we offer even more opportunity to boost your brand? Adding your company logo and website on screen during your interview will allow viewers to recognize your brand instantly. Incorporating images and video clips is another great way to showcase your product during your live segment. Let viewers see how good you really are. And most importantly, there's you and your interview. For less than the cost of a newspaper, direct mail, or a magazine ad, You can leave our studio and within 48 hours have a permanent digital copy of your live segment to link to your social media, embed into your company website, or use in email marketing. Investing in your brand is so very important, and we can't wait to have you as a guest.
Shelter dogs aren't broken. They've simply experienced more life. If they were human, we would call them wise. They would be the ones with tales to tell and stories to write. The ones dealt a bad hand who responded with courage. Do not pity a shelter dog. Adopt one.
Welcome back to Press Conference on RVNTV. I'm your host, Jim DeLorenzo. My guest today is Adam Nelson, the CEO, founder of Philly Esports, and we've been talking about his career path to starting Philly Esports last fall. And one of the things I think, if you look at the Philly Esports website, phillyesports.net, when it says about us, we host pop-up style video game tournaments. Each event, we provide opportunities for competitive gamers to play in professionally run tournaments for cash prizes and to help build their personal competitive brand. And I think that's fascinating because the competitive brand, you're talking about taking photos, taking video, doing interviews. That's the content building. And content building is all about stories. And I am a big believer in the power of storytelling, and that's what I've been doing all my life as a professional in public relations. But the storytelling aspect of helping these gamers develop their brand so that they can get exposure to some of the professional leagues, or they could get exposure to a potential college scholarship or even a high school scholarship in some cases to be a gamer. I think that's fascinating the way you've positioned it. And what's some of the feedback you've received from some of the participants that have had that opportunity?
Sure. So we've received a lot of great feedback, and a lot of players, I mean, they just want to come out and play. I mean, some competitive players, they don't have any real plan past that one event. They just want to come out and play. The ones that do genuinely want to pursue a career in video games, they love it. They've come to me and say, Adam, this is great. You know, we see what you're trying to build here, we see what the kind of opportunities you're trying to provide, and they get really excited about it. And they end up becoming more on the volunteer side than necessarily on the gamer side.
Oh, okay.
But they still come and play games. So it's a very interesting dynamic. But I think because we're so new and a lot of people don't know we exist yet, there hasn't been a lot of truly competitive gamers that are passionate about pursuing their dreams that have come through, just because they're not aware that we exist, and there hasn't been a tournament that maybe has piqued their interest. You know, one of those potential things. But it's one of the best feedbacks that I've gotten was actually from parents that have come to me and they say, Adam, we love this because you're giving a place for us to bring our kids, because normally they have nowhere else to go.
Right.
And they see that we're running these events and we're bringing these communities together, and parents want to see their kids around other kids that like the same stuff, a place where they belong in a way. And that's something that's really inspiring to me, because if the parents enjoy the atmosphere and the community that I'm building, then that's phenomenal, because I want the parents to like what we're doing, trust in what we're doing, realize it's a positive environment, and we're there to build each other up, not tear each other down, and have fun and be competitive and you know, crown some winners, but we're there to be supportive and be a family.
The whole aspect, one of my mentors, Charlie Timmons, has shown me through the book, The Go-Giver, the know, like, trust aspect of, you know, getting along with people. And that idea that the parents get to know the other players that their kids are playing with, or they get to trust the event being in, you know, this weekend we're here, this weekend we're there. That comfort level, that community building, that's really valuable, I think. And that's an interesting path, I think, that you're taking, that I haven't really heard other esports communities doing something like that. Philadelphia seems to be like the nexus of what esports is going to become, because of what Comcast is doing as far as building an esports arena down in the South Philadelphia Stadium complex, and some of the things that have been going on there. Your events are pop-up events. You go where an opportunity is available.
Exactly.
So, for example, when this show airs, you will have just completed one at the Cherry Hill Mall.
Correct.
Tell me what goes into putting that together for an event at the mall.
Absolutely. So really, it's just all we need is an event space, a big open event space that can fit 100 people comfortably, and all we need is power, obviously to power the monitors and the game consoles, and we need internet access because we stream our events to the internet, and that's also some other content we create for the players, because when they play on the stream, that content can then be attached to their brand. They can say hey, watch this game I played on stream, this is the game I won, or maybe lost, but they can take that and they can use that to add to their portfolio, if you will. So really, it just comes down, is there an event space that is big enough? Does it have power? Does it have internet? And then I think the other element is it accessible, right? We're not going to we try not to do events down in a basement in the middle of nowhere because people aren't going to know where it is or how to get there.
How do I get there?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But we do try to find very accessible places, easy to park, easy to look up on GPS, so that people can go. Colleges are locations that we're doing events at. So since this is airing after my event, I won't plug that one, but our next event is going to be at Drexel University on October 26th, and we're playing Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So everybody knows Drexel, everyone knows where the university is. It's in West Philadelphia. So we're really excited about that event. But that's what we try to do. We try to find accessible locations that can fit the crowd and have all the things we need.
And Super Smash, I wrote it down.
Yep.
Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Correct.
What is that game all about?
So that's a game that's been developed by Nintendo. It's a very popular game. It's a very violent-free fighting game where a lot of characters from different, very well-known games and movies and TV shows and themes are all placed in this one universe, and you fight each other on these platforms and you knock each other off. And so this game is incredibly popular. It has a huge following all across the country and the world. And so we do this game just because it's fun, it's easy to set up, and a lot of people love coming out and playing.
What are some of the other games that you've had in your pop-up tournaments?
Sure. So we've done everything from Fortnight, Apex Legends, Halo 3, Super Smash Brothers, and we're working on some other games in the future. But yeah, usually we bounce around from different games that we know people like to play and that are popular, because just like baseball, football, hockey, if you're not playing the sports that have a professional element to it, you may not reach that professional level if you don't play those games. So we only focus on the games that we know are popular and that there are a lot of players, because we want to give opportunity to that competitive scene.
Now, we talked a little bit about that teenage boy who won the $3 million playing Fortnite.
Yeah, Kyle, yeah.
Why is Fortnite the one that seems to have taken hold?
That's a great question. I think a lot of people in the esports industry have different opinions on that game, but I really think what it is, it's a free-to-play game. It is on every device. It's on your phone, it's on your Xbox, your PlayStation, your laptop, it's everywhere. So it's incredibly accessible. It's free to play, and it has a very appealing design to it, like artistic design. It's very goofy, it's very fun. There's a lot of jokes built into the game, and credit to the developers, they create new content for the game. So for people that may not understand, because most video games are always connected to the internet, the developers of the game can constantly push new content, whether it comes to skins for the characters, or new weapons, or maybe new maps, or maybe new dance moves, because Fortnite is known for its funky dance moves, amongst many, many other things that are built into the game. So on top of all these elements, the developers are constantly creating new content that refreshes the game, so the players don't get bored and tired of the same old stuff over and over again.
Now, I'm going to ask you kind of a trick question, but it's not really a trick question. So, your work at Wharton Small Business Development Center to Bunker Labs, going into Zero Eyes, and also in your free time, you're running Philly Esports. What game do you play? What game? When do you find time to play a game?
I don't find time to play games. The only game that I've played recently is, for those of you out there that know this, Blizzard just released World of Warcraft Classic. So that was a game that was released in 2004, and the game has had many, many expansions. It's a very old game, and what they've decided to do is that they took the original boxed game, the original game with all its flaws and all its difficulties, and re-released it to the public because it's such a famous game.
Okay.
And now you're jumping back into it's called the vanilla version of the game.
Okay.
Jumping back into vanilla and reliving all those old memories back from 2004 when the game was incredibly hard. It took forever. And World of Warcraft is a multi-massive online
Right.
role-playing game, which means you have a character, you level up, you get gear, you fight bad guys, all that kind of stuff. So that's the only game I've been playing just because it's very nostalgic for me because I played it when I was very young. And it's just such a well-made game. It's very enjoyable. And I play a lot of Halo. It's probably the only other game that I take any time to play. So.
All right.
Yeah.
And when we talk about what you're doing at Philly Esports, one of the things I find also very interesting about it is the whole aspect of a positive story, a good story.
Absolutely.
Because sometimes when we hear about, we talk about what Zero Eyes is doing to prevent school shootings. Right. We hear about news. We're in a 30-second soundbite world where all news networks concentrate on one aspect of a story and they just drive that home. So we get a negative connotation to video games and esports because so-and-so played this game. Right. Well, that doesn't reflect on everybody that ever played the game. Right. There have been baseball players who've been in trouble. Yeah. Not every baseball player is a troublemaker.
That's right.
What do you see as a big challenge for you at Philly Esports in the future as far as maintaining that positive role model aspect of the game?
Absolutely. What I think is important is that the places, the communities that you build are not only trusting, definitely safe, but are a place for people that have similar interests and are like-minded to come together. And I think the challenge, one of the challenges for us is going to be maintaining that community and that positive outlook, because there can always be bad apples that get mixed in, right? And one bad apple spoils the bunch, is that the saying? So it's just maintaining, making sure that you're always providing a positive atmosphere, a positive place for people to be at, and that you never lose sight of that. When I started this company, one of the very first things I did was develop my mission statement and develop my values, right, of the company. And every time I bring in a volunteer or every time I pay someone to work for me, I make sure that they read over those with me and they understand what it means to be a part of Philly Esports, because it means a lot to me that we are doing this for the players and that we're here for them, and that this isn't about making money, this isn't about becoming the next big company, it's about providing opportunities for people to pursue their dreams and having a family to do that with. And I use the word family deliberately because I want people to feel like Philly Esports is their family, not just a community of friends.
I think that's admirable, and I'd love to talk with you a little bit more about the mission statement and your goals.
Sure.
I think that's fantastic, and I encourage everyone who's watching today to take a look at phillyesports.net and see what they're doing, see what their next event is. You mentioned October
26th, Saturday, October 26th, we're going to be at Drexel University.
Drexel University in University City, Philadelphia. So check it out. If you have a gamer in your family, or if you are a gamer, we encourage you to take part. I want to thank you again, Adam, for being on the show with me today.
It's been a pleasure.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And I look forward to seeing all of you again here very, very soon. Until then, take care, and we look forward to hearing from you.